that even say?
That says Billy Corgan.
Oh, yes.
Even his name is strange.
I thought it said corpse. But yeah, Corgan. Billy Corgan.
I mean, there probably is a story somewhere out there to do with Billy Corgan, a corpse, in some sort of controversy, because he seems to have the best the best natural ability to be involved in the weirdest fucking scenarios and just either saying mad things or being involved in mad things or doing mad things. And like, he must think these are just normal, mentally coherent activities, and everyone else looks at him like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But I mean, credit where credit's due, I do like Billy Corgan. I think his music's good for the most part, and I think he is a very interesting character,
and he taught us a very, very important lesson. The world is a vampire.
Oh, fuck off. Despite all my rage, here I am, still a rat in a cage.
Yes. So this is taken from Music Radar. The interview was with Guitar Center.
No doubt some of these people who are listening and are watching who have seen this article and went, you are batshit crazy, you are clown shoes.
Yeah. So when tone guru Billy Corgan talks guitar sounds, we're inclined to listen.
Tone guru?
I know. We're inclined to listen.
We're fucking 3 words in and I'm already like, wait a minute. Tone guru? I think their approach was much the same as the fucking the Pixies. We'll just buy Marshall amps and just turn them right up.
Yeah.
Full, everything dimed, fuck it, see what happens.
So here's the quote. People think I'm a bit goofy, but I do think that paint colour actually changes the sound of a guitar, he mused.
Yes, we do think you're a bit goofy.
I found through the years that certain paints sound different, so the white Reverend, I think, sounds better. I have a couple of other ones, but this one seems to sound the best. Before
we even go any further, if you heard the first sentence of that, just certain paints sound different, you would think, okay, maybe he's talking about the thickness of the finish, different types of paint, maybe have a difference in resonance of a guitar at the most minuscule, incomprehensible level. But no, he's talking about the genuine fucking colour. Yes. And I just want to scream at him, Billy, I don't dispute, I'm not going to argue with you. Maybe that white guitar does sound better than all of the other ones that they've given you. Do you know why, though? It's not because it's white. It's because they're all made out of different pieces of wood that all have slightly different densities. They are different. The guitars are different. There is more difference between the two pieces of wood than one being red and one being white. Yes, down to millimetres being shaved off of the wood inside the neck cavity. Yeah. The height of the nut, whether the frets are all perfectly level, how well the guitar resonates, which even is just the body would, if the hardware is completely flat against the guitar, or if there's any gaps. Yeah, unless you're going to take the white guitar and very carefully sand just the paint off, none of the wood molecules, just the paint, and then put an equally thick layer of red paint on there, and then compare the tone, and then put the white back on and do A/B tests between these two. You cannot say that it's just science 101. No, you have to control your variables. You can say, but it doesn't make them right. True, yeah. You can't say it and it be fact. That's a good way to put it. When you say at the start of this, people think I'm a bit goofy, we can just stop there. Yes, people think you're a bit goofy, you absolute clown. Control your variables. I mean, speaking of goofy, I made Levi aware of a nice list of things about Billy Corgan and events in his life that he has experienced and been part of that really prove how fucking insane he is. So Noisy, which is a sub-branch of Vice, did an article actually a few years ago now, 2014. So he's probably done a few more crazy things that they should have updated it with. For sure, but I mean, this is a good enough list. When you see the shit that I'm talking about, like there's one in particular where I was like, okay, you are a fucking nut job. So this is a brief history of Billy Corgan losing his goddamn mind. I don't think we'll go too far in depth. We'll just go with the headings. Just go for the headings. Yeah, and people can have a read at the article if they really want to. That is the name of the article. A brief history of Billy Corgan losing his goddamn mind. So taking out an ad in the Chicago Tribune to get the Smashing Pumpkins back together again. Which is basically a picture of his face, and it says, a message to Chicago from Billy Corgan. Getting the Smashing Pumpkins back together. So it worked. Fair play. And then he quit the band. And what was the name of his other band? A jazz fusion band called the Jimmy Chamberlain Complex.
Oh no, sorry, that was
I'm
Jimmy
just
Chamberlain.
reading
Sorry,
these
apologies,
quotes.
I've missed that.
A replacement drummer who was 1 year old when the first album came out. The tour went horribly. Billy wore black leather skirts just in case every single person there hadn't realised he looks like the guy from Hellraiser. He also played mind-bogglingly awful set lists, invited hecklers onto the stage to berate him, and told critics he liked the song they wrote called "Take Your Dick Out of My Mouth and Stick It in Your Ass," which in fairness probably would have been... Yeah, okay.
Sound?
Okay, so holding a contest where the winner buys him lunch.
Nearly as good as that contest we spoke about where you got to be a roadie.
Yeah.
Oh no, so it wasn't a contest, that was you bought. Yeah.
I don't know who this is.
Tira Tequila, she was like a social media / reality TV star.
Okay.
I think she was like I don't want to say a porn star, but she was like a pseudo adult model.
Okay.
Actress.
Well, he dated her. Apparently that's crazy.
She was crazy. She has clown shoes.
Dated Jessica Simpson?
Somehow.
Yeah.
I like how it actually says, it's one of the cooler things Billy has done in recent years. wait a minute. What? Until she dropped this quote about him, which you should only read if you're within 5 feet of an eye wash station. He braids my prayers.
Don't really know what that means.
I don't have a fucking clue what that means.
Dating Courtney Love?
Yep, and he fought with Courtney Love, which is the next headline.
Also managed to survive dating Courtney Love, so he's got one up on Kurt.
Oh, he's a pacifist. He probably doesn't have any guns. Although saying that, if I remember correctly, that was a very famous line, and I swear that I don't have a gun.
Yeah.
So you're a liar. So excuse me.
Liars should be put to death. Releasing a 44-song concept album called Tear Garden.
I think it's Tear Garden, as in like tears.
Okay, yeah.
I think.
That would make sense. Tear Garden by Kaleidoscope.
Yep, but that was under the Smashing Pumpkins, which is 2009.
So the album was literally called Tear Garden by Kaleidoscope.
Billy announced he would be releasing the answer to no one's prayers.
Launching a failed spiritual website.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, Billy Corgan launched a pro wrestling company, and there he is with Rhino.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't even tell you the name from it.
Doing furniture commercials. Okay. Did he get annoyed that Nickelback were in the DFS, Rockstar? And he's like, oh, I want to be famous like those guys. I want to be a big rock star.
I want a piece of that pie. Billy Corgan's a vampire, a financial vampire.
Yeah. Billy Corgan is the world.
You just went, nope, bye.
Yeah. I don't know what that says.
Siddhartha, I would guess, because it's spelled almost the same as Viljarta, the band.
Yep.
We'll read through that one, that's pretty good. Most recently, at the time of publication anyway, the latest nail in his legacy's coffin was spending a Friday night in his tea shop. Alright, he owns a tea shop, by the way, doing an 8-hour synth interpretation of the Hermann Hesse novel, Siddhartha. Sorry, but there's literally nothing worse than listening to 8 hours of synth interpretations. For unless it's what Jessica Simpson's is like, I can't really make that sentence out.
Yeah.
Basically, he spent 8 hours.
There should be a comma after 4.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, there's nothing worth listening to for unless that makes sense. Thank you, grammar man. Basically, as it says, 8 hours in his own tea shop that he owns, doing a synthesizer interpretation of a novel.
It's amazing when you really think about it. It's like he's trying to be an artist, in the truest sense, in the way that Bowie was an artist.
Yes, without anywhere near to use the word again, cohesion.
Yes. So, get him in the bin. Billy, you're a madman. Paint colour doesn't affect guitar's tone.
Here's one for you. Billy Corgan, I'm pretty sure it was Joe Rogan's podcast. Whatever episode it was, very interesting. You should give that a listen.
I've got so much Joe Rogan to catch up on.
I've never really listened to much at all, apart from a couple.
Yeah, you should. When he's got, I've subscribed to him now.
I'd love
I
to
don't
free
watch
time.
most of his stuff, but every now and again there will be someone on that I'm like, I need to watch that.
Yeah. As I said, I'd love to have free time.
Yeah.
And you know what? I can get podcasts at work, but the explicit ones don't play. So I can't listen to us. I can't listen to Joe Rogan, and quite a lot of the music ones that you try and find don't show up
that's
either.
all you'd want to listen to.
I know. Why would you block that? Because someone swore? Who cares?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, let's move on.
So the Phone Free concert. Phone Free concert hailed a success in Edinburgh's Usher Hall.
Aye, okay.
Manager of an Edinburgh venue is planning to hold phone-free events after staging a concert banning mobiles, which was a success. Jack White fans were asked to put their phones into lockable pouches during his show at the Usher Hall on Sunday. Fans could carry the locked pouches, but they would only open when they were out of the auditorium. Carl Chapman of the Usher Hall, general manager, said the system was now in place to have future phone-free events. He said phones have become a bit like a new cigarette lighter, as there are so many of them being held in the air during a show. On the flip side, bands like Coldplay and U2 use them creatively and can ask audiences to interact with the show through their phones, which is cool. I'm unaware of that. But
I was going to say I've never heard of that, but it'd be interesting to see what they mean.
Yeah.
Unless they're just talking about that idea of, I think Robbie Williams done it, getting everyone in an arena to take a photo at the same time with their flash on.
Right, okay.
Which looked wild.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I get where Jack White's coming from. For a lot of people, mobile phones are quite annoying, and if you're using the phone not actually watching the show, it must get pretty annoying for the artists. It's the first time we've had anything like this with a pop or rock artist. It went surprisingly well here. We were quite apprehensive about it, as it's a complete social norm to use your phone at a gig. Feedback was very positive. Quite a few people said it was like rolling the clock back 20 years to a time when Jack Whitehall was relevant. I could definitely see us doing it again. Yeah. What do you think? You undecided? You want me to go on a...
First of all, it was Jack White as in the musician, not Jack Whitehall as in the comedian.
Okay.
Just I know you knew it was Jack White, but you said Jack Whitehall. Anyway, just in case.
Oh, if you wound the clock back 20 years, Jack Whitehall would also be irrelevant.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
only just born as well.
You're lucky if there'd be 3 people in the crowd who went to see Jack White who could say 20 years ago they went to a gig.
Yeah.
Let's just be straight up about it.
Yeah.
I mean, the White Stripes have been out for a while, but I think they were like him and Meg White were about what, fucking 17, I think, when they first came out, which was what, 10, 11, 12 years ago. So he's not quite that old. Anyway, my views on mobile phone free venues, I don't really care. If someone was standing in front of me with a fucking iPad, I'd maybe get upset, but it's a mobile phone. You're at a gig, not just to stand there and take it all in and soak it in, it's to enjoy the atmosphere. And if someone else is enjoying it by filming stuff, then that's up to them. As long as they don't like put their phone in your face or whatever else. It doesn't fuss me that much.
I'm so torn. So unbelievably torn. Because I was initially going to say it's a stupid idea. And then I was going to talk about taking away people's freedoms to do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is really politically where I fall on things. People should be free to do the things that they want to do, but as soon as the things that you want to do start impinging on other people's freedoms to do what they want to do, then you've got an issue.
Yes. And therefore that's where you reach your impasse.
Well, this is why it's tricky, because I look at like gigs, and obviously you can't smoke at gigs.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter that you want to smoke at a
gig.
Get caught. Yeah. It doesn't matter that you want to smoke at a gig. You smoking at the gig will hamper the experience for the people around you, so you don't get that right. And I was going to say phones are different because they don't, but actually if you are at a gig and you've got people all in front of you that are all holding their phone up like this, that can kind of hamper your experience, and that is a shame.
I mean, if it really bothers you that much, punch it down in the front of the crowd. Just punch it clean out their hands.
Yeah.
I don't actually advocate that, by the way, but at the same time,
I do that. What was that guy? I can't remember his name, of course, because he was completely irrelevant. But the guy protesting abortion, and he karate kicked. Have you not seen that clip?
Oh, I have actually.
Yeah, karate kicked the phone out of it. Well, tried to kick the phone. Karate kicked the phone out of this woman's hand who was filming him sounding like an idiot. Evidently missed and kicked her as well.
Speaking of protesters, just a random story. I shouted some serious profanities at some pro-lifers standing outside the hospital in Glasgow. That was good fun.
Good lad. Yeah, I'd be alright with that.
I mean, they have a right to free speech, and maybe not so much in the UK actually, but they can say what they want. Doesn't change the fact that they are not free from consequence, which is me shouting at them.
Yes, you're protesting their protest, and you're doing it vocally. My thoughts are, if they're sort of impinging on other people's rights, currently people do have the right to have an abortion. So maybe, if you want to take issue with it, take issue with your politicians rather than the people that are just exercising their rights.
I mean, I think they should maybe just fucking grow up and go away, but that's my opinion on that. Anyway, we're getting into actual politics. Sorry, I digress.
Go and get raped by a dog. and then see if you want an abortion. That got heavy, didn't it?
I don't even know what to say to that.
I don't know what to say to that either, to be honest. Yeah. It's a long, awkward silence. Yeah, so a phone-free concert. Yeah, I can see the kind of the pros and the cons, but as ultimately, I think what it comes down to is it's up to the artist, and I think as an audience, you have to respect the wishes and the wills of the artist. I think actually a phone-free concert is a bad principle, because you shouldn't be able to take away a phone from somebody that has their phone. They may have it for reasons other than to distract the gig. For example, they may have a family member that's in hospital and they need to have access to know if they need to leave the gig.
Well, I think the point in having the pouch is you still have your phone, you just can't use it. So the idea is if it goes, you just leave the auditorium, which doesn't interrupt the performance or anyone else's enjoyment, but it gives you still that liberty, I suppose, of having that.
I had assumed that the reason you have the phone in the locker perhaps is not so you'd know if it goes off, but so they're not having to take on the responsibility of keeping hold of thousands of people's phones.
Why not both? It's an elegant solution to a bit of a problem. Did you not tell me when you went to see Kevin Bridges that there were signs about not having your phone or using it, and you didn't really take them that lightly, and you actually watched someone be ejected for having their phone out?
Yes.
I mean, that's...
No, they were ejected for filming.
For filming, so that's the wrong solution to the same problem?
Yes.
You think?
Well, there isn't... The point is there is no solution. Like, Kevin's reasons for not wanting people to film his gig was completely reasonable. He was doing 20-odd shows at the Hydro. He didn't want the footage leaking online to spoil the experience potentially for people that were going to come and see the show.
Which is fair.
Yeah. And I think therein lies the problem. Again... It's like filming people at concerts. There are certain artists that don't want to be filmed. Don't film them. Just don't film them. They just don't. Even if they're wrong. Like, I think they're wrong. I think we've got evidence that they're wrong. Guthrie Govan's career exploded because of the internet and because of people filming him, and he didn't want people filming him.
Is that true?
Yes,
I didn't know that.
He hates people filming him live. I've seen him live where people have been filming and he's like waving his finger at them and saying stop filming me, and when they don't, he doesn't get antsy and like kick the phone out of their hand or anything, but he will literally just turn around. So you
he doesn't do a Josh Homme kick a photographer right in the head.
I forgot about that.
That was a bad one.
That was a bad one.
I'm just glad that he did actually apologise, and it looks like he's pretty fucking torn up. Like he went, why did I fucking do that?
Yeah. I imagine you can totally get lost in the moment and when you're playing to that many people.
I don't imagine he did that with a sober mind either.
Yeah. That's a bad one.
That is a bad one. I mean...
so really, I just look at this and I'm like... It's a tough one. Like, really, I would prefer that you have a no filming and photography policy. And that there were staff on hand to deal with people that disrespected those rules.
Yeah. Well, I think that's fair, but here's the way I see it. Which isn't too far from your own, to be honest. It's more of a vote with your wallet. If the Usher Hall starts having gigs and shows and concerts and just events in general where it's mobile free policy and you don't like that, then don't go.
Yep.
Because the more that happens, the less likely these people will be to play at the Usher Hall.
Absolutely.
So that works for the artists who are obviously more interested in mobile free events than them being very well participated.
Sure.
Attended. And it works for the crowd who are maybe not happy to not have their phone with them.
Yep.
But I don't think that's a bad solution. I think it's the fact that it's a lockable pouch, that you still have possession of your phone. It won't let you use your phone when you're there, but you can still see if you have a call or a message, and you can take yourself into what's an appropriate area the venue finds or deems appropriate with the artist, etc. So you're not losing out on any rights. You haven't been deprived of anything. They're just giving you boundaries. Which I think's fair. I think it's fair.
Yeah, ultimately I think there is a problem that needs dealing with, and this is a reasonably elegant solution to that. I don't think it's perfect, but ultimately I think the perfect solution is people have more respect for the artists, and if the artists say, don't film, please don't take photos.
Just don't do it. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah. Whereas if it's a seated gig especially, like I was at ICW Fear and Loathing 11 last night at the Hydro, and there were some moments in the show where I was like, cool, I'm going to take this opportunity to check my emails. Like, I'm not bothering people, not in the same way that...
Dull.
It seems the problem at gigs with phones, the problem that Jack White has with phones is this.
Yeah, that's not pretty much what the article says. It's not that you shouldn't be using your phone for your own personal stuff. It's putting phones in people's faces where they don't want them, and your arm's been in the way, and even being disengaged to a degree with the gig. The whole point is you're there to experience that artist with your own senses, not to record it on a phone that's going to compress the audio and video for a memory that you probably won't have much of because you've been so focused on trying to film that you've missed what's happening at the gig.
Yep, that happened several times last night. There were moments where, because this is the sad part of it, especially at a wrestling show, I want to get a couple of clips on my Instagram.
Of course.
And the clips that you want to get are the big spots of someone jumping off something and potentially dying. And you're trying to get that balance of having the camera pointing so you know that you're going to capture the action, but also not looking at the camera. I want to see it and I want my camera to capture it. That's a balancing act. Anyway, should we close this up with these damn lists?
Yep. First of all, top 1 t-shirt that you should buy. Top 1.
The plugging top expert. 1. What a pro. I could write a list of the top 10 t-shirts that you should buy, and they're mostly that one.
Mostly.
There's some Party Cannon ones on there. There's a Hellcat Molly t-shirt on there as well. Cool. So we'll go through this pretty fast, right? The 15 best rock guitarists in the world right now.
Why does it start at number 10?
That is a great question. Why does it start at number... Okay, so 15 to 11 are here.
Right, okay.
Richard Robinson of the Magpie Salute. I have no idea who that is. Michael Schenker. Michael Schenker is one of the best 15 rock guitar players in the world right now. Michael Schenker. Michael Schenker's a great guitar player and one of the very, very, very important figures in the history of rock guitar. But he's one of the best rock guitarists in the world right now.
Very relevant, on the pulse.
Yeah.
Nat.
Phil and Vivian from Def Leppard. I mean, that's 2 people. They've put fucking Billy Corgan on it.
Yep.
Billy Corgan is one of the best rock guitar players in the world right now.
I think what they've basically meant with this is, can we mention as many artists that we want to be related to for SEO before Christmas?
Oh, you get it.
So we'll just drop every list we can get. So anyone that searches anything ever on the internet ever to do with music, going to get brought to Music Radar.
Yeah.
That is some fucking Google Analytics shit.
Yeah.
Playing that big dick game.
You put these people in it because you want them to share you on your social media platform. 15 best rock guitars. Well, we're going to do 10. We're going to do 10. Read the 10. And I would expect, I can see that looks like Van Halen. Best guitar players in the rock, no. Jerry Cantrell, no.
I disagree. I think, considering Alice in Chains obviously got back together with William DuVall, and are still releasing albums, and the albums are fucking top notch.
But you can't think of 10 guitar players that you'd think are better rock guitar players in the world right now.
I mean, it's obviously subjective. It's a list of who they think are the best rock guitarists.
Yeah, of course.
Right now.
Yeah. That is fair.
But the Radar team is total guitar.
Yeah, there are going to be names on here that won't be included. And I don't know why. The first one that pops into my head is someone like Justin Derrico.
I don't even know who that is.
Pink's guitar player.
Okay.
Session guitar player out of Australia. Killer rock guitar player.
Well, let's just dial it back. Pink is not a rock act.
I mean, have you seen Pink live?
No. Have you?
I've not seen Pink live. I've watched her concerts
Smart ass.
online. I've watched videos of her concerts because Justin Derrico plays guitar in the band.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I'm not taking away from session musicians in that respect, especially not ones where you can literally name them and say, this guy is phenomenal. Because you do get them.
Yeah.
But I think the whole point is...
a great rock guitar player.
I'd hope that the scope they're going by is rock guitarists who are in relevant rock bands right now. But then again, they just mentioned Michael Schenker.
Yes, exactly. That's my point. So this isn't the 15 best rock guitar players in the world right now. It's the 15 best rock guitar players of all time that happen to still be alive.
Not even of all time. I think it's 15 rock guitarists who we think are pretty neat. So let's just go with that.
I'm okay with that. I'd be okay with that.
Lizzie Hale and Joe Hottinger from Hailstorm.
Yep, you heard that right. Mm-hmm. I don't I don't mind Hailstorm, actually. Their first album I thought was pretty good.
Never gave them much of a listen. I've seen them live. They supported Alter Bridge?
Probably.
I think it was. I'm sure Lizzie came out and sung Watch Over You.
She, the first Hailstorm album was on the list of influences when I was writing the Hellcat Molly material.
Oh, okay.
I was listening to it a fair amount.
That's fair enough.
And there was actually a time where I was looking for a female vocalist because it wasn't going to be Hellcat Molly. It was going to be like a new band, like a solo project thing that I ran. And I thought the thing that could help me move away from that would be to have a female vocalist. So there are there's the song that went on to be Break. I do have a recording of that where I'd sent it over to a couple of women to write some vocals on and sing, and they sent me demos back, and then some of them were okay.
I'd like to hear them.
I'm sure I've got them somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Chris Robertson and Ben Wells of Blackstone Cherry.
Right, let's just, before we go any further, right, we're 3 of the top 10 in, and all I can think is Total Guitar have went to Kerrang and went, what's the top 10 bands that you play all the time?
Also, it's the 15 best rock guitarists in, well, the last 3 we've looked at have been 2 guitar players.
Yeah.
I mean, what are the chances, right? What are the chances? Not only is Chris Robertson one of the best guitar players in the world right now, but so is Ben Wells.
Mm-hmm.
That's real, and they fall in the same spot.
Mm-hmm. Because they're in the same band.
That's amazing. Tom Morello.
I knew that was him, even though they stand in with Les Paul. I just knew it.
Tom Morello, one of the best rock guitarists in the world right now.
Mm-hmm. Ha! You thought it was Van Halen?
I did think that was Van Halen.
Fucking Justin and Dan Hawkins from the Darkness.
Justin and Dan Hawkins of the Darkness.
You know that band that split up, who had a great first album and have been shit since?
Yep.
In my opinion.
They so they played not Brewdog, Drygate. They played Drygate. They did a private party type thing at Drygate, and on the day of I didn't know about it, but on the day of the gig, someone messaged me and said, "Look, I've got I can get you put on the list for this if you want to come down. I can't go down anymore. It's free food, free drinks, and the Darkness are playing." And I really, really, really fancied it, but it was so short notice I couldn't do it. It was like 2 hours.
Oh man!
And I had some teaching to do later that night, so I would have liked to go and see them. But
you know what? Yeah, I like genuinely. I fucking love Permission to Land. I think it's a great album. It's banger after banger after banger. The guitar work on it's great. Everything about it's great. The production's great. The songs are fucking so memorable.
Yeah,
that they peaked too early.
They did. Slash.
What did he there?
Fair enough.
No, not fair enough.
He's one of the most iconic guitar players. I can think of better rock guitar players, but you knew he was going to be on that list.
Yep, and my point would be, can you stop hogging the limelight, please, Slash?
Oh, okay, Joe Satriani. So we're allowed to just reel off instrumental guitar players now, are we?
Wait to see who's next.
Paul Gilbert.
Right now, current. I can't name a Paul Gilbert album after Get Out of My Yard, which was 2011?
I can. I'm
Silence
not sure when
followed by
Silence followed by Deafening Roar.
That was quite a good album.
Yeah, and then Vibrato was the one after. Was the Vibrato the one after that? Stone Pushing Uphill Man was another one.
I recognise the names, but they're not memorable albums for me.
Yeah.
Get Out of My Yard was great.
Silence,
a lot of good songs.
Silence is alright. I think Silence is probably better than Get Out of My Yard. It's got Norwegian cowbell on it, but yeah. Paul is one of the best rock guitar players in the world right now. He's always going to be.
Yes,
but unfortunately, he doesn't seem to want to play rock guitar.
No, he's went from
playing a lot of blues.
Yeah, which changed from playing weird K-pop stuff. Richie Kotzen, that's a fair one.
He's a great guitar player.
He's also been bringing out quite a lot of singles, just himself with whatever band he's with. And has he got a new band? Oh no, it's just a new music of his. I've seen a few singles that he's done that have been pretty good. And the winners are Mark Tremonti and Miles Kennedy at number 1.
I think of as being a little bit more metal. Yeah.
Though
they do, like, if you, not that this is how you grade things, but if you go into HMV, you're going to find Alter Bridge in the rock and pop section.
I would say that Alter Bridge come under, for me, the heavier side of stadium rock, because that's the point they're at the moment, selling out those big ass venues with big anthem songs.
Yeah, that as a list, offends me greatly, and it doesn't bode well for the next lists that we're going to blast through. I'm sure we can think of better rock guitar players. I'm sure we can.
I wouldn't want to do it on the spot, but
I also wouldn't want to do it on the spot. I guess what I'm looking for is they don't need to be new players.
Yeah.
But somebody young and exciting, like Richie Kotzen.
Like Mike McLaughlin and Craig Robinson of Party Cannon fame.
There we go.
Number one.
Yeah, there we go.
Nat.
Yeah. It just baffles me.
Yeah. It's the fact that it says right now. That's what gets me.
Crazy. Cool, yeah. The hard thing with it is I'm not entirely sure what they define rock as, you know?
The best metal guitarist, and the first thing is the Nameless Ghouls.
The Nameless Ghouls are better rock
Ghost.
guitarists.
Ghost are not metal.
Yeah.
Ghost are circus music for goths.
Ghosts are a rock band. 70s rock band.
Bad band is the word you're looking for. No, they're not. I don't like them, but that doesn't mean them bad.
I like them. In small doses, but...
you can't defend them and say they're not very good. Right. Code Orange.
I don't know who Code
nearly Orange metal. They're like... I don't even know how to describe them. Like weird, beat down hardcore, fuzzy, really heavily distorted guitars. Judas Priest are not current.
Just look, Richie Faulkner. The Nameless Ghouls are better metal guitar players than Richie Faulkner.
Wait a minute. And Gus G, and Dave Murray, Adrian Smith, and Yannick Gers.
Just
who wrote this list?
Someone that is looking for SEO.
So your comments on Total Guitar, I think, were now fair and justified, considering. Fuck off, James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett at number 9.
Number 9.
You think whoever wrote this article, you dumb cunt, that Kirk Hammett is better than all the guitarists in Iron Maiden?
When I look at James Hetfield, he's an incredible rhythm guitar player.
Oh,
of course.
Unbelievable.
But, big but, right? We're in 2018 now. Mm-hmm. It's not 1988 anymore.
Nope.
So, if I could have anybody's metal rhythm guitar skills, it's not going to be James Hetfield.
Nope.
It's going to be John Brown.
That's fair. Very distinct.
Yep.
Who would I think? I think I would probably have rhythm guitar skills.
Mick Thompson.
That's a tough one.
Mick Thompson.
No.
He's a great rhythm guitar player.
Not saying he isn't, but he's a terrible songwriter.
He is beyond a terrible songwriter. He doesn't write any of the material for Slipknot.
Even better. Even better. Yeah. He's redeemed himself to some part in my eyes. Yeah, I think it would have to be somebody like Frederick Thorndale or Per Nielsen. Inventive guys.
Frederick Thorndale. Yeah. Maybe even above John Brown, I'd go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't pair incredible, but I don't really think of him as being like a rhythm guitar player.
No, but I think I would like to hope that if I could steal his rhythm guitar skills, I would get some of the lead parts as well.
Yeah.
That guy's fucking unbelievable.
So James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett. Interesting. Who else? Zach Wilde. I mean, that was a difficult one for me because I kind of wanted to throw him into the rock category because of the Aussie stuff, but Black Label metal. But here they've got a picture of him playing an acoustic.
Mm-hmm.
Zach's he's iconic and I love him.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of shit go down with Zach Wilde on the music discussion pages on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, because he's on the Generation Axe tour. He's on Generation Axe.
Yeah.
And people are like, what is Zach Wilde doing on Generation Axe?
Playing guitar.
Yeah. Being a fucking icon from a generation, like literally he defines a generation of players. Like he really does. That 80s and 90s stadium metal rock type thing.
Mm-hmm.
All these people like going like Tozen. That's someone that should be on Generation Axe. No, I mean sure, but years and years and years from now, Zach Wilde is never going to disappear from guitar consciousness. I'm not saying Tozen will.
No, but Tozen also hasn't toured with Ozzy.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's why Zach Wilde's on Generation Axe, because aside from potentially Steve Vai, and that's purely based on what he's done for instrumental guitar, Zach Wilde is the biggest name on that bill in terms of his, what he's achieved. Mm-hmm. He is a legend of rock guitar. He's like Slash level of legend.
You're right. Like, whether you like him or you don't like him, you know him.
Yeah.
He's pretty much a household name.
Yeah.
Who else is playing in Generation X? Who's on that lineup?
Nuno Betancourt.
Right, okay. Another legend in his own right, to be fair. Again, another legend in his own right.
Yeah. Vi.
Another legend in his own right.
Tosin.
Potential.
Yeah.
But not quite there yet.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. But to write Zach off and just be like, oh, what's he doing on there? All he does is play pentatonic scales. First of all, that tells me you've not really listened to all that much Zach Wilde.
Nope.
And second of all, even if all you did was play pentatonic scales, so what? He does it so damn well.
He's so fast and clean, and he plays with such force.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, he's a good songwriter. He's a good singer. He's a good guitarist. He's a good musician. Some of his stuff's a bit shit. Yeah, we all have our faults.
Yeah, he's had hard moments in his career when he was drinking way too much.
Yep.
He had a real return to form after he stopped drinking. Order of the Black was the first post-drinking Black Label album. It's a good album. It's got some good tunes on there. But, you know, stick on the song Stoned and Drunk by Black Label Society and listen to the guitar solo on that and tell me that Zach Wilde is a one-trick pony. Like, he's a great rock guitar player. Not even metal, just great rock guitar player. He's got that southern rock influence in there with the hybrid picking licks. Yeah.
All you needed is, in my mind, all you need is the solo from No More Tears.
Yeah. No, it's not even my favourite Aussie solo, to be honest. I like the solo, of course, but
I think it's phenomenal. You know what I love about it? It's the fact there's such a build-up.
Yeah.
It builds with the music.
Yeah, it
sounds like Zach Wilde.
But mate, Miracle Man. I like Miracle Man.
Yeah. Why not both?
Yeah, of course. Mark Morton and Willie Adler.
Fair play. That's very fair play, because they did bring quite a unique style. It's like, I don't want to say atonal, but the riffs don't fall into traditional melody categories.
I would expect Mastodon to be on here.
Potentially, aye.
I think they're great. I think they're really, really good. But let's see.
They probably found a Prog though.
That's the struggle with this, isn't it?
Yep. This next one, if it is who I think it is, which is Lee Malia. It fucking is. Put him in the bin. They are not a metal band. They are stadium pop.
But apparently he's one of the best metal guitarists in the world right now.
No, he's not. Meet the heaviest guitar players on the planet. Sorry, that's a no.
Jason Hook's a pretty good guitar player. I'll give him that.
I don't know him. I know who Five Finger Death Punch are, and I would rather spend 25 minutes deep frying my own testicles.
Oh fuck! You know who's going to be on the top of this list? It's going to be Nita Strauss.
Oh, don't even say
Mark my words.
I was thinking it's going to be Avenged Sevenfold.
I'm actually quite... Oh, mate. This is actually quite horrifying, isn't it? There are so many bands that it could be. It'll probably be Slipknot.
What frightens me the most is this actually what the guys at Total Guitar and Music Radar think is fact? Or are they just trying their hardest
to the audience?
Yeah, I hope they they're just pandering to the audience, because what they should be saying is, if you think this list is correct, you are a fucking imbecile.
Jason's a good guitar player. Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't watch Slip the guys. I don't like his music. Don't know his stuff.
Yeah, he's got a long session history.
Cool, that's fair. So okay,
he's a good guitar player.
If generally speaking, if you say someone is a good musician, I'll take that for granted.
He's solid. Is what I describe him as. Yeah,
you're quite you're honest. Is a good way to put it. The guys from Behemoth are very good. Or Behemoth, however the fuck you pronounce it.
Never listened to him.
None at all.
No, I can't criticise them because I've not listened to them, but that's like a whole subset of metal that I just sort of listen to and go, aye, fair enough. Cool, you've put them on this list, but they're not like tons of similar players that, you know, why have they got what would be great in an article like this is if at the bottom there was a justification. This is why they placed above number 5, but it's why they didn't make number 3. Why is my phone ringing?
I think the justification on the list is the fact that Behemoth can be very fast, but they maintain heaviness. It's quite complex riffs. It's like kind of black/doom metal, especially the early stuff. Some of the early stuff is rapid. So, but I don't mind Behemoth. I don't like them. I know I've seen it and I was trying to distract myself. Quite upset. Is Jared Dines going to be at number 1 here?
Hopefully K-Mac's on.
We're good on it. The 15 best YouTube guitarists in the world right now. Kieran's number 1. Parkway Drive. I have never listened to Parkway Drive, so I have no comment.
Yep, no comment.
They're a metalcore band. That says enough to me. Number 2, Sinister Gates and Zach Evans.
I like this because we can't really tell who that is from that.
True.
So Sinister Gates and Zaki Vengeance, Avenged Sevenfold, number 2.
Last year's winners only dropped 1 spot. They're absolutely not the heaviest guitar players on the planet. If anything, they are sickly sweet with melody.
I just hope that when we get to the prog one, that they put in, like Brown, Misha, who else is from that?
Axel. And James Monteith from Tesseract.
Okay, yep. Yeah.
Nolly probably wouldn't come under guitarists.
I've not seen you since the Tesseract gig. We'll talk about that afterwards.
Oh, okay. Adam and Josh from Architect. That is fair, because Architect stuff, as much as I'm not big on it, is fucking good.
Yeah. Okay, so when I saw the name Adam there, I can't help but look at this list and go, I'm surprised you didn't put Killswitch Engage on there. They're both great guitar players. I wouldn't put them at like best 10 guitar players in the world, metal guitar players in the world, but based on the type of list that you're putting up, those guys should be right up there because they're...
Let's be honest, we're going to find them on another list. That's how SEO works. Yeah,
fair. They'll find an opportunity. So there's our metal ones.
# meta.
The 11 best prog guitarists in the world right now.
Steve Hackett.
So the guy from A Perfect Circle? No idea. But yeah, so Steve Hackett.
I'm going to say I can see number 9 and number 8, and I agree with both as being very good.
He's not a prog guitar player.
Well, considering he played on number 9's album. Oh no, he didn't. Shit, I'm talking shit. Ignore me. No, you're right.
He's not a prog guitar player, but we'll get there. So Steve Hackett, who cares? Genesis. Like, best prog guitar. That's actually, I find that fucking insulting. You're telling me that since the 70s, prog guitar hasn't progressed to a point where there's 10 guitar players that are better than Steve Hackett.
Are we finally going to get to the episode where you take your headphones off and throw them on the ground and storm out?
Maybe.
Because that'd be a good video.
Steve Hackett. Credit where credit is due. Steve Hackett is one of the earliest pioneers of tapping technique on the guitar. He's one of the first people that ever recorded tapping on the guitar, way before Van Halen did. And around Billy Gibbons had tapped on record before, just as at tapping a note kind of thing. But
every day's a fucking skill
day. Steve made a feature of tapping in Genesis. So
okay, right. Well, worthy of having his name on a list, but in the world right now, probably the wrong context.
Worthy of a list of the titans of progressive guitar of all time, probably somewhere around number 10. Steve Wilson.
I think more so as a prog guitar writer, or a songwriter rather, not so much guitar.
Yeah, I don't think of him as a prog guitarist. I think of him as a prog musician.
Yes. I really like Steve Wilson.
Hence why we say Steve Wilson and we think he had Guthrie that he was playing with for a while, and who did he switch Guthrie out for? Was it Dave Kay?
I don't know.
He switched him out for someone.
I don't even think he switched him out. I'm pretty sure that's when Guthrie went to do the Hans Zimmer stuff.
He got someone else in that's equally fantastic.
Okay. I don't know who, to be honest.
Oh, let's have a look.
He's got to find out now.
Because I'm going to kick myself as soon as I hear it. It's going to be listed as band members like this.
It would have been up on the right hand side at the top.
Do you think?
Mm-hmm. It's songwriters and...
No, because they're not songwriters, they're just hired guns. Well, this is embarrassing, isn't it? Steve Wilson guitarists.
If you're saying the guy is
Alex Hutchins.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So after Guthrie left, you got Alex
I'm going to say, I definitely up there with Guthrie. That guy can play fucking nothing else.
But, if you're one of the best prog guitar players in the world right now, you probably don't hire Guthrie, Govan and Alex Hutchins. Because they're, you bring those guys in because they're the best at what they do.
Yes.
Right. I will be outraged if Opeth aren't on this list.
If Opeth aren't?
Yes.
That's fair.
Yeah. Number 8, they've gone with Bumblefoot from Sons of Apollo.
Incredible musician, but I can't think anything he does that's really proggy. Most of these stuff's kind of...
experimental.
Yeah, experimental, like really wild guitar parts, but the music's usually quite followable though. Yeah. You know what I mean?
His influences punk music and the Beatles. You can hear that in his writing. So, a very odd one for me. Very, very odd one to put him on there.
Yeah.
Better suited to the rock list potentially.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to put him on there, then you also have to look at it and go like, well, Buckethead, and you open a can of worms.
Yeah. If you're going to be experimental, you can put the two of them on that list. No bother. Experimental.
He's on there because right now he's playing in a band with Mike Portnoy. He's playing in a band with Billy Sheehan. So relevant. Chuck him on a list.
Yeah. So, I mean, to be fair then, that does mean that he is in the world right now one of the best prog guitarists, at least in one of the best prog supergroups.
Yeah. I really like him.
Yeah.
I really like him. So I can't hide that. I'm not going to take any credit away from him. He's a big influence on me.
Never had the chance to meet him, but he seems very personable from everybody I know who spoke about him.
Charlie and Richard from Haken.
That's a fair one. That is actually a fair one.
Yep.
I wonder if we'll see Leprous on this list.
Of course not. Is that Matt Bellamy? Please don't be Matt Bellamy. It's Matt Bellamy. Okay.
Prog guitarists? You mean that pop band?
Well, in fairness to them, I think they were. It was bands like Muse and the Mars Volta that in the early 2000s were the closest thing that the rock scene had to prog.
One word though. Where?
Where? Yeah.
Where? Right now. Where?
Yeah.
I think my problem with him being on the list at the moment is Muse have got over time more and more safe and poppy than how they have been before.
Yep, no, that's fair.
And I think that's why Muse stuck out before, because their songwriting was interesting and different. There's a lot of weird texture in the music as well. Him using like mad sawwave synths for guitar sounds and whatever else, and weird arpeggiators and that kind of shit. And now it's just like I can't name any recent.
To be fair, I've not listened to them in quite a long time.
But that's because I've not been featured on the radio or anything either.
Is it called Second Citizen or something like that?
No idea.
Yeah, been a while since I listened to them, but
goodbye.
I don't dislike Matt, but yeah.
There we go.
Tesseract.
Ackland James. Called it.
They're great.
Fucking unbelievable live, man.
Perfect opportunity. We went to see them live.
We did.
How were they?
They were fucking incredible.
Unbelievably good.
So tight. It was them. Pliny was the opener. We missed Pliny, unfortunately. Or at least I did. Did you catch any?
Well, we caught the last song.
That's right, yeah, sorry. Yeah. Then Between the Buried Me, who I was mega excited about. The sound in the venue wasn't great, but they were fantastic.
There's the understatement of the year.
They were tight as fuck, I know. The first two songs, it was pretty much a mush. No vocals.
Yeah.
Guitars were pretty much inaudible.
Yeah.
It got better as it went on, and then Tesseract came on, and for the minute the first note played, you were punched in the head.
Yeah.
The most relentless guitar tone, at least in terms of like that kind of gent sound, just fucking punching you. The drums had so much punch to them. The vocals were crystal clear.
Yep.
Dan was on top form to the point where me and Kieran were literally joking. He looked as if he was on something with those crazy dances. You maybe weren't close enough, but he was like mouthing things to himself.
Yep.
But I think that was like a vocal technique for him to remember the patterns of the music before when he comes in.
Right, okay, yeah.
Because he was like mouthing over the riffs.
Okay.
You know,
he's very good on stage. He's very animated and
he's incredible.
He doesn't just stand there when he's not singing. He's really grooving to the music, which helps the audience get involved.
Totally. I've not heard
the whistle note, didn't you?
Oh, that, yeah, by accident.
Yeah, I when that bit was coming up, I was like, he's not going to sing that bit, is he? But he did, and he went for it. Fucking nailed it.
Oh, and it's not the fact that he hits the note; it's the fact that he then goes down a tone and back up, but like holds it.
Yeah. So I'll give it to those guys. That was one of the best live sounds. It was probably the best live sound I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
They were
crushing,
brutally tight, and the mix was perfect. And a lot of care and attention has gone into that. And they had a great light show. Definitely, go and see them. Give the opportunity, go and see them. They are brilliant. Absolutely
worth it. Next in line is Plenty. Funnily enough. Oh, look who's number 2.
Yeah.
Oh, right now. Plenty, fair play. Very, very good musician. Phenomenal guitarist.
I'll do it. I'll take the bullet. I just can't think of anything less appealing right now in my life than going to see instrumental music played.
But that's not Plenty's fault. That's not to his discredit.
That is true. But what I'm saying is same applies to like Animals as Leaders. Like I want a band and I want a singer and I want songs rather than pieces.
I would have absolutely agreed with you until we saw Chon.
I enjoyed Chon, but I probably wouldn't go see them again.
I don't think I would see them headline or like play a long set.
Well, let me put it like this: have you listened to any of their albums since we saw them?
No. Okay. See, saying that though,
checkmate.
I don't really have a lot of time to listen to music that I want to listen to. If I'm totally honest, it's pretty shit that way. And the opportunities I do get, it's usually I'll try and cover album club and make sure I'm giving it enough listens. Or Nancy wants to listen to something terrible. She's been playing Ariana Grande all the time at the moment. All the time. And I don't dislike Ariana Grande. I think she's a fantastic vocalist, but I'm not overly keen on all of her songs.
Alright.
She's a great singer, to be fair to her. Like, she can sing like fuck. Her songs are all poppy and shit, but she's like Celine Dion / fucking Whitney Houston level of actual technique, whistle notes and shit. Anyway, moving on.
Plenty,
nah. There we go.
Opeth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wholly deserved.
Yeah. He is a real shining light for. When you say shining light, that sounds like a new talent, but obviously he's been on the scene for so long. But if you are a prog, if you're a rock guitar player, listen to them, and there's an ethos behind his playing, behind Michael's playing, that just there's so much that can be taken from. That idea of not understanding any theory or not thinking in terms of scales, or literally just let's go out and find something that I like that sounds cool, and that he always does it, and does a great job.
I was going to say, even not putting prog or rock guitar on him, just if you are interested in music that has the power to evoke feeling in you, stuff that you might not particularly like, but that's the whole point in the music, it makes you uncomfortable, up to the most beautiful songs. Opeth, you can't really go wrong.
Go and chuck Watershed on. It's a nice entry point. And then depending on so what I'd say with them is, depending on how you find Watershed, if you want it to be less heavy, then continue on and listen to later albums, and if you want a bit more heaviness to things, then go back.
That's a really good way to look at it. I like that. That's cool. So fair play.
Because you've got Ghost Reveries before that, and which is reasonably heavy, and then
Blackwater Park.
Then you're getting into the black influence.
There's still some of that in what was the album you mentioned there?
Watershed, Ghost Reveries.
Watershed. Watershed.
Yeah, there's always an influence, but John Petrucci, number 2.
Oh, I mean, not unfair, but right now.
Yeah, that's exactly it, isn't it? Like, John Petrucci is one of the icons of prog guitar, but I just don't think he's one of the best in the world right now.
I think he's probably one of the best guitarists in the world right now in terms of technique, but musicality and stuff doesn't do much for me.
How did the last Dream Theater album do? Not so.
Was that the stupid concept one where they basically went, what's popular at the moment? Game of Thrones, right? Cool. Let's jump on that.
That's exactly it.
No.
So who does number 1 look like to you?
Not for me. I'm really hoping it's not who you think it is and who you've said, but that's exactly who it looks like.
Who did I say?
Nita Strauss.
No. She was for metal. She's not going to be on prog guitars.
I hope no.
Any ideas?
No.
Fuck off! Coheed and Cambria. Wow. I've not listened to Coheed and Cambria since that big song that was really popular in like 2002.
Welcome Home.
Yeah. I probably should give them some time, to be fair.
Quig goes on about them. Quig really likes them. And Quig's pretty good at picking out bands who do something a bit different.
Yeah. He's got good taste. He really likes Thank You Scientist, and you'll notice that Thank You Scientist aren't on this list, but Tom Monda is a great example of a great prog guitar player.
Oh, phenomenal.
But yeah, okay.
There's so many that could be on that list that should be, and limiting it to 10 is just a bad idea.
Yeah, and giving Steve Hackett one of the spots is
disappointing for right now. Actual prog guitarists.
Yeah. So
cool. I am disappointed.
There we go. Prog, Coheed and Cambria.
Let's just batter through the rest of them, because, see, to be honest, like,
you don't care about blues guitar players?
Not necessarily. It's not that. It's just more so what how can you say the best top 10 blues guitarists? Because they're usually all doing the same thing, unless you start going into playing fusion or.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna there are names that I would want to be on this. One of them I can see already is Kirk Fletcher.
Okay.
Kirk Fletcher. I would expect to see Kirk Fletcher on here. I would
Trucks.
expect to see Derek Trucks should be number one, of course, because he's one of the greatest guitar players that's ever lived.
John Mayer should be on there.
John Mayer will be on there.
Genuinely, I think that's fair.
But I want to see Josh Smith on there. I want to see Dan Patlansky on there. I want to see Joey Landreth on there.
I was going to see Joey Landreth because you and Katie went to see him.
Yep.
And Haley went as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ariel Posen would be good to see on there, but he's not really done anything. That looks like Dan Patlansky. That is Dan Patlansky. So, yeah, maybe... I can see his face. I can see his face.
The mystery
man. I can't
man.
put the name to it. I can't put the name to it.
You can see his face, but you
I've
don't know who
interviewed
he
him and
is.
everything. Let's find out.
Yeah.
So, number 13.
Xavier, I mean...
Fantastic Negrito. I have no idea who that is.
Not a clue.
Robert Cray, legend of blues.
Right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now.
Yeah, exactly. Jack White. I think I'd probably rather listen to Jack Whitehall.
Okay.
Sorry. We had Anna Popovic.
Who is a Serbian strat they say. I've never heard any of their stuff.
Dan Patlansky.
You know these guys much better than I do.
Yeah, Dan Patlansky's he's a pretty good player. He has a really cool trick that he does. I interviewed him and he was warming up and I noticed he did this, and then during the interview I was like, mate, I've got to ask you about that thing. He uses his pickup selector like a wah pedal.
Yeah. Seen that a few times. It's really clever when you can do it right.
Yeah, and he can do it right. Mm-hmm. So Billy Gibbons.
Right now. Billy Gibbons
is great, but it's not one of the greatest blues guitar players in the world right now.
These lists are frustrating because there's so many people who aren't right now. Kirk Fletcher, there you go.
give him like the guys that are really setting the scene on fire right now. Kirk Fletcher is just one of those guys. I'd expect Eric Gales to be on here. He's one of the great blues guitar players in the world right now.
Is Levi going to predict this full fucking list?
Kenny Wayne Shepherd, he's a good player. He's a good player.
Again, right now, I've not heard his name in a while.
Gary Clark Jr. Oh God,
There's
Eric Gales. Cool.
Called it.
Mark Knopfler.
Right now.
Right now. Joe Bonamassa. There we go, guys. Joe Bonamassa, the greatest blues guitar player in the world right now. This list is missing so many great names. So many. It makes me sound like I am a blues guitar player and that's my scene of expertise. But there are some great blues guitar players on the scene right now. And I'm glad that they put Kirk on there. I'm glad they put Eric Gales on there. But give some love to Josh Smith. Give some love to Joey Landreth. Like, it's shocking. That, you know what? That perfectly demonstrates it. Dan Patlansky, he's a great player, right? But there is a reason he is on this list. And the reason is his PR guy is the same as Joe Bonamassa's PR guy. The reason I met and dealt with Dan Patlansky, who, like I say, was really nice, and I enjoyed his music and dealing with him, was because, Peter, who deals with Bonamassa, is like, oh, I've got this other guy, I'd like you to interview him, and it's the unwritten rule. It's if you do Dan, you can get Bonamassa again. You know what I mean? That's how that works, and that's how Dan's got the right people working for him. But yeah, there's a reason that he's on that list and Josh Smith isn't. Or who's the other guy that Kendo really loves and Andy really loves? Is that Philip Sace? I really like Philip Sace, and he's in that vein again. Could easily be on that list. But for political reasons, evidently isn't. So, cool. And finally, the 14 best new guitarists in the world right now. I would just like to actually go back. On the prog one, let's point out that out All Across Metal, we didn't get any Brown. Cool, fair enough. They are relatively small compared to, but nobody from Periphery. Nobody from Periphery. That shocks me, especially from a politics.
Have they maybe got a gent list? I would doubt it.
No, there was no gent list.
Yeah.
14 best guitarists in the world. So we've got
no one I know of.
Jess Alanik, Brian Ellis, Brady Ebert,
Joseph Hirabaishi,
from the bands Calva Luis, the Viral Society.
Is that Viral, maybe?
No, maybe. Turnstile and Joe Past. Okay, and then we've got Hamish Anderson in at number 10. I have no idea who this person is.
Nope.
Okay, blues guitar player by the looks of things, praised by B.B. King and Gary Clark Jr. Oh, John Mayer wasn't on the blues list. That surprises me. Tash Sultana, I have no idea who this is.
Not a fucking clue.
Lindsay Hamilton, I have no idea who this is.
Nope.
Paul Swarbrick, I have no idea who this is.
I've heard of Boss Lloyd, but I've never heard their stuff.
Brady Deep Rose and Dan Nightingale of Conjurer.
You can't even tell who's who. Like, look how far away from the camera they are, standing in the woods.
I have no idea who these people are. Lindsay Jordan from Snail Mail, I have no idea who this is.
I think she had a guitar stolen at some point.
Right.
I just recognise Snail Mail in that red Jaguar.
I really don't want to shit on any of these people. Obviously, I could give you 10 people that I think should be on the list of the 14 best new guitars, but I can't possibly say that they should be on the list above these people because I've not heard any of them.
No, that's fair.
But I actually find that really exciting, though. You know, we're probably going to go through 10 guitar players here on the best new guitarists in the world today, and I'm not going to have heard any of them, which is cool. That means
they might actually be the top 10
there's lots of
new
cool
guitarists.
There's lots of cool guitar players to check out.
Yeah.
Sam Rushton of Orchids, Marcus King. Yeah, I'm familiar with Marcus King.
Yeah, I know his name as well.
I can see who number 1 is. Fair play, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
The kid from Greta Van Fleet.
Yes, because we all know that Led Zeppelin are new.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've become a bit of a meme, right? But you introduced me to them, and when you introduced me to them, it was with a degree of passion. It was like, you should check these guys out.
I don't want to slag them. I think they're a good band, but he's not doing anything that's new.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Oh, but yeah, okay. Well, best new guitarist, I don't necessarily mean they have to be doing new things. I think it's just, have broken onto the scene in the last couple of years. He's a good player. Number 1.
But best? When you've got Rabea Massad being number 1?
Rabi'a Massad, yep.
Great player.
He's a really good player. And they've listed him as being with Tosca, which is cool, rather than being listed as being with Dorje. Tosca being Dorje without the shite cunt at the front of the band. But Rabi'a is truly world class.
Aye, truly. Seems like a nice dude as well.
Yeah, incredible writer, performer. Yeah, big, much respect from me. I think he's he's great, absolutely great. I hadn't listened to Tosca until just recently when they approached me to transcribe their EP.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know it was Rabia''s band at the time. I was dealing with the bass player, I believe.
I remember the story of this.
Yeah, and he just said, would you transcribe it? And I had listened to a couple of tracks. So I was like, this is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm sure I can work out a deal on this. And then I said, ideally I'd like the stems. That'd make my life a lot easier for doing something like this. I can bring the price down if I got the stems. And if you could do video playthroughs of any of them. He was like, yeah, cool, we can sort those out. And then a couple of days later, I was like, any updates on those videos? And he just said, Rabia''s working on them. And I just went, hang on a minute. No. And then suddenly it clicked and I went, okay, that's why they're awesome. So Rabi'a Massad, I like. Yeah. I approve. He can have that spot. I'll give him that. So much so that listening to Tosca, I would say that he deserves to be on that prog list.
Mm-hmm.
More so than Steve Hackett does.
Aye.
So yeah. There we go though. 2 hours. This has been a long one. Been a long one, guys.
So we'll get through it right quick. It's only a small list. And then we have conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay though. I'll split it in half on YouTube, and who knows, maybe I'll even split it in half.
Imagine being in the pub with us.
We don't go to the pub.
we have done in the
From
past.
time to time we have. But yeah.
Real life's been getting in the fucking way recently.
Yeah, life gets in the way. But thank you very much, guys, for tuning in and listening to the Guitar Souls podcast again.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for all your support. Any suggestions, critiques, comments, just layer us up. There's a few people who've contacted me over the last month or so with suggestions. I know Andy Torrance. Hi Andy. Many listens. Like every podcast he sends me a photo of him watching in his living room, which is cool.
Yeah.
Andy gave me a couple of ideas for stuff talking about albums that influence certain playing and things that you would think would be the greatest album for learning guitar in a certain way. Something I'd quite like to address, but there's also been a couple of people mentioned albums for me to listen to, etc. And
you've made it clear that you don't have time to listen to music.
No, I do want to, but Levi knows the circumstances. But things have been pretty shit for me in the last month or two. Been very busy with personal things. Doesn't mean I don't want to do these, and I love the suggestions, but my brain's fucking haywire at the moment. My memory is pretty much nil. So if I have said that sounds really good and not message you back, it's not because I've just been trying to be transparent. If I didn't like the idea, I probably would have told you that it wouldn't fit. But if there's anything you want to add in, genuinely hit us up, tell us. And if there's stuff that you've mentioned and hasn't been addressed, absolutely message us back. It's not been out of ignorance. It's not been because we don't like ideas or suggestions. It's been literally because I have no memory. I am a fucking goldfish. Alright, so thank you very much. And buy t-shirts.
Yeah, I was going to say it's okay because you're going to get home and you're going to stare at that, you yourself wearing a t-shirt with your own face on it, and you're going to go, hang on, this could go somewhere. I like this. I've got a t-shirt with my own face on it. And you're going to go Levi Clay about it, and you're going to start wearing it everywhere. It's one thing to wear a t-shirt with your own name on it, but to wear one with your own face on it, that's next level.
That's lovely. I mean, we can get away with it because I'm actually wearing a t-shirt with your face on it, and then you could be wearing a t-shirt with my face on it.
So yeah, welcome to the club of wearing your own merch. You're already there because you're in Party Cannon. So what am I talking about? But as always, guys, please do like, comment, share, subscribe, post us on Reddit because Reddit is a good place to get stuff.
And last time I posted on Reddit, I got banned.
Yeah. Post us on Reddit, post us on Twitter, post us on YouTube, post us anywhere. I really don't care. Just share, get the word out, subscribe, leave reviews. Anything like that, it all helps the podcast, and the better the podcast is doing, the more it will be here, because who knows, it could be a job one day. Probably not, but
well,
feels like a job, doesn't it?
No, I didn't say so.
Having the conversations is fun, but like finding time to do it,
and it must be a job for you. Like, Mike, are you actually free today? Is there things that you have to do?
Yeah.
Possibly.
It's a job I'm going to finish, and then I've got to edit it and, render it and do the video and, but it's a job I enjoy, so I like it. And it's much better than like cooking fish for people. I've done that before, so yeah, cool. So thank you very, very much, guys, for listening. Mike, thank you for your time as always.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, I don't know why we say that like you've come to appear on my thing. This is our thing. But good to see you, buddy. And until next time,
bye, fuckers.